Good evening, I'm Rachel Pupazzoni with ABC News. The long-awaited report into Britain's involvement in the Iraq War has been handed down in London, and Sir John Chilcot's conclusion is damning. He says the UK went to war before all peaceful options for disarming Saddam Hussein were exhausted. Sir John's report says former British Prime Minister Tony Blair underestimated the impact it would have on Iraq and the wider region, despite explicit warnings. John Favreau, thank you so much for speaking to ABC News Breakfast.
Thank you, my pleasure.
I saw the film yesterday.
Did you?
Visually, it feels like I was being taken on a guided tour through a jungle in India.
Yes.
The visuals are breathtaking.
Thank you.
How did you do that?
It's very severe, Kumi. We're currently experiencing some very strong wind gusts where we are. We're just near Wollongong on the Illawarra Highway, and these wind gusts are coming through. I'm actually finding it quite hard to stand upright, to be honest with you. As you may be able to see behind me, this area has been cut off by floodwaters. The paddocks are to the right and the left of me are flooded. It's like there are waves in the paddocks at the moment, Kumi. The winds are so strong and there is so much water. Now, this is a scene that's been experienced across parts of the Illawarra.
Hello, I'm Rachel Pupazzoni with ABC News. There's still no election results, but the fallout has turned nasty and Malcolm Turnbull has found himself in the middle. Bill Shorten says the Prime Minister should resign, while some Liberal MPs have blamed his Jobs and Growth campaign for the poor coalition result. After 35 years of working to improve the lives of Indigenous Australians, Warren Mundine has been named on the Queen's Birthday Honours List. He's been named an Officer of the Order of Australia, and he joins us now on ABC News. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Warren. This is obviously a significant recognition of all your years of hard work. How does it make you feel?
It makes you feel funny, actually. It's a strange feeling.
There have been violent and chaotic scenes at Hungary's now closed border with Serbia. Hungarian police have fired tear gas and water cannon at protesting asylum seekers who were demanding they be allowed to enter. Here's Europe correspondent Barbara Miller.
And that we're used to, so that makes it wonderful.
Thank you so much for speaking to the ABC, Renee. And Noma Australia, as we discussed, is open for a couple more weeks. The last service is at the start of April. Author Greg Growden has written 2 books about Richards and scoured this cemetery for clues about him. I understand it was quite difficult to actually find Tom's grave here at the Manly Cemetery.
Yeah, it was. No one knew where it was, so we basically had to go up and down the roads until eventually we found the grave here.
Robert Z remains in Silverwater Jail while steps are made to ensure that his bail conditions are met. He was granted bail yesterday by Justice Elizabeth Fullerton after last week a jury was unable to reach a unanimous verdict.
Rachel, so what's been happening there this morning?
Good morning, Joe. We're on Lockwood Street here in Merrylands, as you mentioned, and police have been at this property behind me since about 6 o'clock this morning. They've also raided another property a few streets away about the same time. The set and costume designer Dan Potra has been working on his designs for Turandot for 2 years. Now, this dragon, which forms an integral part of the production, actually breathes fire in the production. Dan says that he and his team have spent about 2 months building it. This triple bill means the dancers need to adapt their technique from the strong movements of in the middle, somewhat elevated, to the smoother lines of Forgotten Land.